Well, happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It's your first webinar with us. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Alexa. I'm the operations manager here at BPM RIA office. And today we have a very amazing presentation by Meryl Chandler, Get Fundable webinar workshop, all credit card behavior, business credit approval. We're going to get into it. So couple quick announcements. We do have some events coming up, a lot going on end of this month. We have 3 webinars next week, synergy titles coming in. We're doing a BPM RIA mentor workshop, how to virtual wholesale. We'll be giving away something special in that one, so keep your eyes open. Florida Entrepreneur Law, they're coming in for a workshop next week as well. We do have our full day workshop with Anthony Cha. He is coming back. We just had him last week for our monthly main meeting, and he's coming back for a full day workshop. So if you have any questions about that, let me know, because seats are running out. And then of course we have our main meeting May 4th with Melanie Hawk from Why Not Me Academy, and we're getting into Airbnbs. I will be putting the link for you guys all to find our events in the chat. You can go ahead and register for any of these free webinars immediately. And if you have questions about the full day workshop, we do have special member pricing and early bird pricing. Early bird ends next week, April 19th at midnight. So go ahead and press the link in the chat. And if you guys have any questions, you can always email me. Alrighty, this is my favorite way to keep up with our events. If you ask me, we'll always send you a text the morning of the webinar or event, just to give you a heads up, it's coming up. If you text the word BPM RIA to our text number, you will go ahead and get a text reminding you that we have an event that day. And if I'm running a little bit fast, guys, I will put all of this info in the chat for you guys to refer back to. And of course, our Quick Start Bootcamp is coming up May 21st, May 22nd. We're running a crazy special on this. It is originally $595. We're going for $197 for 2 full days with our team. We have 4 amazing speakers that are coming to speak. If you press the link in the chat, you will see exactly who those are, what more information we're going to dive into, and you can go ahead and save your seat right now. It is on Zoom. It is live. You are spending 2 full days with our CEO, Anish Dave, 9 a.m. to 5. Any questions, go ahead and call the office or send me an email. I'll be putting my contact in the chat in a moment. We do have memberships available. This is how you're going to get into the in-person meetings for free, just like the one we had last week, April 6th at the Signature Grand. We have a bunch of networking. We always do an educational portion. You do get discounts into special seminars, such as our full day workshop with Anthony Char on the 23rd. And then you, of course, get the National RIA benefit package. Huge benefits to Home Depot, Office Depot, Arcana Insurance, Rent Perfect, so many amazing vendors, the list goes on. So any questions about that, check out the website. We do have our one-on-one coaching programs available. We do make this super simple to get more information. If this is even any interest at all, or you're just kind of confused, what is this? Is it one-on-one? What's going on here? More than happy to dive into it. Super easy. Go to our website and you'll actually book a 15-minute call with me just to get more information on how you get plugged in on what's going on in this mentoring and coaching program. Yes, it is one-on-one. Yes, we pair you with a mentor. We do put up 100% of the money for your deals and split the profit 50-50 with our students to get the ball rolling for your business. So either call my direct line or go to the website and schedule a call with me. It's always best to schedule that, dedicate that time to me. Love that. Or send me an email. My email is in the chat for you guys. Alrighty, rocking and rolling. I don't want to take any more time from Meryl, but I do want to thank everybody for being here today. Little housekeeping rules. Put those questions in the Q&A section down at the bottom. of Zoom, so we don't lose those. I'll be putting helpful info in the chat. I'll be putting Merrill's information in the chat, but he's got a lot more stuff to go over, and I'm not going to spoil it. So thank you so much for being here, Merrill. We love you. Your energy, your everything, your knowledge, your presentation skills. There's so many things to take note of from your presence. So thank you for being here, of course.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. Anish and I have been doing this almost 8 years now together, and it is always an honor and a privilege to be here. And I love the focus of the new branding, BPM RIA. It's just it rocks my world. So we're going to get into how. Do you want to share with me your? I'll just grab the share. There we go. All right, we're gonna get started here, you guys, and it's gonna be something of a wonder. This is the third in a series of at least 6 presentations. So every time we come, it's all new because. Whether we move further down the fundability path towards more business funding for you guys or not, I want you to stop stepping on the funding landmines that prohibit us from being successful. We're already doing it. We're already blowing up our opportunities, and I want to make sure that we don't do that as often and as much as possible. So let's go here. Everybody can see my big Get Fundable, right? And here we go. So the next step, next stage, next milestone in your fundability training today is going to be how your current credit card behaviors may actually be getting in the way of your business credit approvals. They may be harming that entire process. And so most of us are like, the hell is he talking about? This is crazy talk. But our end game, you guys, is that holy grail, that when we cut through the matrix, right, of the illusion of how business funding works, and we get to the real essence of it, it's we're going to get rid of some myths, and we're going to find out what the insider secrets are. And those insider secrets will get you access to the largest pool of previously unavailable capital. Top tier banks. We're not talking low value or hard money or private money. We're talking top tier banks and getting business lines of credit and business loans. Now, the vast majority of these, based on how well you implement what we're going to be talking about today and further, it's without collateral, without tax returns, and without financials. All right. So we're going to do a quick test. Yeah. Everybody show me, how to use the hand raise. Give me a hand raise, because I'm going to be asking some questions that might apply to you. This is all private, so you can raise your hand, and I'm not going to, if I'm just acknowledging something, I'm going to say, hey, Rafael, Yvette, Jose, anybody else? There's Carlton. There's Maximo. All right. And there we go. Myrna and Neer. So when I ask a question about whether something applies to you or not, boom, we're going to go to hand raise. Now, over it, questions. Alexa is spot on. The chat is going to move so fast that if you ask a question there, it's literally going to end up a foot or 2 feet up the chat. So please put your questions. The second it comes to you, we have enough time for me to be able to answer those. And most importantly, I want everybody to say hi. We're going to be Quick Draw McGraw when it comes. I'm dating myself. Quick Draw McGraw, say hello on the chat, because there's going to be some things I'll say. Are you getting what I'm talking about? Are you picking up what I'm laying down? It's like, hello, yes. So those are 2 types of answers, because I want to know where you are, right? Because I'm not some mystic on the mountain. I'm smack dab in the middle of this with you, and I want to know where you are so that we can address your funding concerns. address the myths that might be blowing up your funding opportunities, and answer the questions that you need answered, right? So thank you for all of that. There we go, Peggy and Maximo and Alexa and Yvette. Love it. All right. So what am I here for? I'm here because I'm committed to help you get the funds you need to thrive and to do more deals. I want you to keep more money in your pocket. Now, I don't have a problem with hard money or private money. I'm not here to diss any of that. I'm asking if hard money requires you to have skin in the game, and let's say it's 100,000 and you need 30, wouldn't it be cool to write a credit line check for your participation in that deal? Anybody tell me yes if you would love to be able to write a check and participate in the deal, right, Yvette? Yes, Alexa, Maximo. We would love to have that kind of access to capital. But what would happen if you had 100 or 200, 3, 4, $500,000 in these credit lines, where you can take your hard money lender, your private money lender, and say, thank you so much for getting me launched. I can now do entire deals by myself. Tell me yes if that is something that would be beneficial to you. Now, thank you. Wow. Thank you. I can't even say all your names. Now, what I'm saying may be a little hard to believe, but I'm going to use this metaphor a little bit because it's so true. Raise your hands if you've or raise your hands if you have seen the Matrix, or at least know the metaphor of the Matrix. Anybody know the metaphor of the Matrix? We got excellent, you guys. Awesome. Then this is going to be meaningful to you, because right now in the funding world, there is all these myths and misrepresentations, and there's some gnawing in the back of your mind, likely, that's like, what? I'm not getting some of this. Something's not right here. And the nice thing is that it's not your fault. We have been led to believe by lenders, by the system, to keep us distracted from the truth. And we're going to be covering all of that here. But the point is when you know the truth, which means together we're going to be taking the red pill instead of the blue pill, right? If we know the truth, we have the opportunity to find out how to become partners with the lenders rather than their prey. Follow me? We're going to become lender partners. And who do you think, I want you to type this out, who do you think gets big money approvals? Partners or prey? Please type it out. Please type it out. Anybody have an idea who gets the most big money approvals? Yes, Alexa. Yes, Peggy. Yes, Maximo. The partners do. But how do we become partners? How do we become partners? Prey get credit card pre-sorted offers. Partners don't get offers, they get approvals. Okay, that is what today is all about. So my number one goal here is for you to see that there's a clear path for you to get these least expensive business loans and lines of credit without, regardless of your current situation. Whether you have awesome personal credit, you have what you call bad credit, we're going to go, there is a chance for all of us to get these approvals. Now, let's look at look at what the matrix has provided us, this financial matrix, right? That, first of all, lack of capital, super expensive alternative lending. And how many of you have found investors or entrepreneurs, you are risky to a bank? How many of you gone into even a bank you've done business with, and you might have gotten like a full doc loan, right? Financials and tax returns and everything. But were you approved as a real estate investor for unsecured $100,000 credit line, right? That's what we're up against. And that's where we need to shape ourselves to become partners. So how do we do that? the first thing we need to get past the funding landmines and the minefields, and there's 4 of them. So let's talk about those first. Because to get to funding town, we got to get through the minefields. Okay, there are 4 of them. First of all, the first minefield is that the credit and funding game keeps changing. I don't know if you guys have heard, but July 1st, the credit bureaus are likely to delete 50 to 70% of paid medical collections. Just delete them off your credit profile. If you've seen, there's been a contraction of approvals, raising of interest rates. The game keeps changing dramatically. The problem is do we have somebody that we can trust who can keep us dialed into what we need to do today? Not what worked 10 years ago or 2 years ago, but what is working today and what's going to work tomorrow. Think of it as everybody who isn't on the inside, they're playing checkers with the lenders. And you're thinking, oh, it's just a simple game. And we're getting our hindquarters handed to us every single game we play because we don't know, right? We have to become chess masters. We think, oh yeah, we just fill out this application. Why aren't I getting approved? We're playing checkers, they're playing chess, and they're crushing our funding souls as a result, right? So the game keeps changing. The second minefield we have to navigate, we got to get through this to funding town. Well, if you watch YouTube about anything, personal credit, credit repair, or business funding, there are hundreds of supposed experts who are literally promoting myths and misrepresentations. No joke. We have to shine a light. That's why I call it the Matrix. There's so much BS out there that we have found that I went through and did research, and COVID gave me an opportunity to do this, but I took some time during shelter in place to actually research and review all of this stuff. And what I found is that there are over 500 misrepresentations, myths, misconceptions, and quite a few just outright lies that are being taught to you. And since we don't know better, since like in the Matrix, right? Everybody who's plugged into the Matrix, sleeping in a little pod, just giving our energy, giving our soul to the machines, we are literally just believing what we're told, and we don't know the truth. So it became so bad, we're beginning a podcast series shortly called Credit Myths Exposed. And we're going after all 500 plus of these myths. But the problem is what do we do now? We believe stuff. That's why I said it might be difficult for you to believe. It's hard to believe. Some will say it. What's he talking about, these credit lines? I've heard this before. This is crazy talk. Well, it's because it's hard to believe because we're not partnering with lenders. We're sitting over here in the pray category, wondering, why are we just getting credit card offers, and why are we getting not good interest rates, and why are we getting $5,000 instead of $50,000 approvals? Because our beliefs turn into behaviors, and those borrower behaviors mark us as prey. Now, it's not your fault. It has nothing to do with that you're stuck here. It's that we have to change the game. Now, this whole partner prey thing, think about it. Does an NBA team owner let anybody play for the team? No, you got to try out, right? Does SEAL Team 6, does the Navy just, come on in, be a member of our team? No. It is a grueling process. Now, fortunately, becoming a partner to lenders is not a grueling process, not at all. But what it is that they require certain behaviors. They need stats, just like a basketball team, just like SEAL Team 6. Don't we even, when we start getting serious in a personal relationship, don't we kind of test them? Don't we actually make them try out for the position of in our relationship? This isn't uncommon, but our borrower behaviors categorize us. And we're going to be talking about some of those borrower behaviors today so that we know what lenders are looking for rather than what all these industry experts are trying to bamboozle us with. And by the way, there are many of these experts are trying to actually sell you things, not to educate you on the truth, but they're trying to sell you things that will harm or damage your fundability, your profile, your ability to get approvals, right? So, yeah, as I said a moment ago, credit myths exposed. Watch for it. We'll be sending out for everybody who's in our tribe. We're going to be sending out invites to be able to watch us go through this myth. It's going to be entertaining as well as massively educational. Because I can only go through, I don't know, 3 or 4 myths in each one of our sessions. How would you like to go through dozens and dozens and dozens, right? All right. So the next one is the next minefield we have to navigate is harnessing and leveraging the unstoppable forces that we're facing. Things are going on out in the marketplace, you guys. So think of it. We got a hood over our head. We're kind of stumbling through the minefields on our own. And there are forces out there we have no control over. None whatsoever. But it doesn't mean it's hopeless. It just means we got to know how to get through that minefield. So let's take a look at the 2 unstoppable forces that are in front of us. Number 1, economic. This is happening. The rates go up without your approval. The rates go down without your approval. Mortgages cost more or less. Your access to capital, the size of the funding target grows. Let's get to it. So, fact number 1, unstoppable force. Lenders make the most money when they lend. So, it is beneficial to them to lend, correct? Well, from Reuters News, AP, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citigroup, and Chase continue to post multi-billion-dollar profits annually. They have more money to lend than ever before in their collective 500-year history. More money to lend. So why aren't you getting approved for these unsecured bank loans and lines of credit? If they got money just falling out of their pockets, why aren't you getting your share? Well, because you've been lied to about how to get approved. Now we're back to that prey or partner scenario, right? Because lenders only want to lend to people who are going to make them money. I mean, serious money. Interest on a $5,000 credit card is not awesome money to them, you guys. Do you know why? Here's a quick pro fact. Do you know why that credit lines and business loans are much lower interest, prime plus 0.75 or prime plus 2 or 3%, compared to 17 or 18% on credit cards? You know why? Because the funding amounts are so much higher, so much higher. We want $50,000 and $100,000 approvals. Yes, Maximo. We want $50,000 and $100,000 approvals, not $5,000, right? They jack up the interest rate on those credit cards to keep up with the gobs of money, but they only give those credit instruments, the credit products of credit lines and business loans, to players, pro ballers, if we're using the basketball metaphor, not to, they give those approvals to their partners, right? So what's the difference? Why we haven't been educated yet. You're doing it right now, and I applaud you. I applaud you for how that you continuing to come and continuing to get educated. The education alone. Remember, if any of you remember the Matrix, Neo's, his mind was blown. He passed out because there was so much information he was taking in when he realized that there was such thing as the real world. In our case, the real funding world, the world where we get to work with lenders, not against them or be preyed upon by them. So because we have not had the borrower education that we need to see through these lies, we're not picking up all of the money that's available. Borrowers who meet these guidelines get more and higher approvals. Tell me you guys are getting this. Type yes in there or no. Are you getting this? Are you seeing how this works, right? We got Yvette and Alexa. All right, there we go. Maximo, Carlitha, brilliant. Geraldine, you guys, the money is reserved for people who know how to play the game, period, dot. Nothing else to be said. I'm out. All right, just kidding. All right, so we're still on unstoppable force number one, economic, right? So think of it. You're getting approvals out in the world, right? And these outer ring approvals, these are the $2,000 and $3,000, the $5,000, et cetera, right? And then when we optimize when we get educated, and then we optimize our profile to meet lender guidelines, guess what? When we don't meet the guidelines, when through COVID and even now a little bit, the approval target shrunk. So if we're up here getting approvals out here, and then the target shrinks, are we getting approvals? No, we're not. But when we optimize our profile to meet those lender guidelines, then it doesn't matter how big the target is. This is what we call fundability. Doesn't matter how big the target is, you guys. It could be a small target. It could be super tight recessionary lending, or it could be generous, low, awesome economic conditions. It doesn't matter. We need to become bullseye borrowers. We need to have a tight scatter group in our. How many of you have sighted in a rifle? Give me. You raise your hand. Say how many of you have sighted in a rifle ever in your lifetime? It's an awesome way. Awesome. Okay, brilliant. So take a look. When you sight in a rifle, you put it on sandbags and you set it on a stand. And then you fire a shot. You see where it hits. Now, do you move the target to make sure it hits the bullseyes? Give me a yes or no. When you're sighting it in, do you move the target? No, thank you, Yvette. You don't move the target. Do you move the gun? No, you don't move the gun. You move the sight. You move how you look at it. And that's what our education is doing here today. And however long we walk this path together, we sight, we change how we look at it. And think of it as glasses. I've got them right here, right? If I have cloudy, obscured glasses, am I going to see the truth? Yes or no? Type it in there for me. Am I going to see the truth? Yes or no? If I have cloudy, obscure, wonky glasses, am I going to see the truth? No, not a chance. Thank you, Kathy. So we have to clean our glasses, and that's what you're doing right now. We got to clean our glasses, and then we can see the target, and then we can hit it. But until we can even see the target, we're going to be out here. And how many of you have experienced, you can raise your hand, say yes or no. How many of you have experienced that, what you're seeing on your screen right now, that phenomenon? How many of you have done an application and got a no? I'm not talking like personal credit cards. I'm talking about business lines of credit or a business loan or a commercial loan. Anybody sit out there? Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes. All right. So our objective through education is to learn how to optimize. All right. So once we're here, we become that perfect borrower and that ideal bank customer. How many of you guys would like to be the ideal bank customer, the partner to the lender that they trust and believe? How would you like to be the clutch player on a WNBA or an NBA team where you have 3 seconds left and you get the funding ball? Anybody like to be that clutch player? Yes, absolutely, guys. Thanks for the hands. Thank you. It's all about education and then practicing your sport. Our sport is borrowing, professional borrowing. All right. So so that's unstoppable force. Number one, economics. There's money available, but you got to be fundable to get it. Everybody with me? You got to be fundable to get it. Now, the second one is technology. The future of business funding is here, but nobody told us. It's happening. You've experienced it, but many of us haven't even noticed. All right. So anybody heard the term automatic underwriting, automatic approvals? How many of you in the last 2, 3, 5 years, how many of you filled out an application online? How many of you have filled out an application at a branch and then you were approved or denied in 30 seconds or less? Give me a yes or give me hands. Anybody? Yeah. Yes. Everybody who's typing, all the hands. You guys, that's automatic approvals. No human being looked at your application. The data on your profile match data in at least 6 different databases, 3 credit bureaus plus 3 others. We haven't got time to go into all those others, but your data your data pings these 6 databases to see if your application is legit. And if it's legit, they approve you. If something scattywampus, it could be your identity, it could be your income, it could be the business address or the personal address, whatever it is, it can get you denied within 30 seconds, but we don't even know what's happening behind our back, right? The other thing is, all right, now here's the fun one, because this is going to prove my point, and it's going to show you why this is not too hard to believe. How many of you have received a letter in the mail or an email from your lender saying, congratulations, free money. We just raised your credit limit, $500, $2,000. How many of you have gotten an automatic limit increase and you didn't do anything? You just were a good borrower, right? Thank you, guys. Yes. That is called automatic limit increases, not even an inquiry. There were no financials, no taxes, no income verification. It was free money. Some of you, how many of you, I'd like to know this question. How many of you just woke up one morning, went to your bank account, and your limit was higher? Anybody? Anybody whose limit was just higher? They didn't even bother to send you a letter. Yes, you guys. They didn't even bother to send a letter. Now, most of us have experienced that on our personal borrower application and personal profile. How would you like to have that very experience? Automatic approvals and automatic limit increases on business lines of credit. Anybody like that? Anybody like to have that experience on business lines of credit? Yes, Geraldine. Yes, Raphael. So I'm not up in the night. I'm not here pulling the hood over your eyes while you're in the middle of the minefield. I'm taking the hood off of you so that you and I can walk together through this minefield so that we know how to do it. That's the bottom line. That's why Bria, forgive me, BPM, RIA. That's why BPM RIA keeps bringing me back, because they know from their own experience that keeps working. It just keeps working. So how did I even know how to do this? Well, I got hours of conversations we could have about my relationship with FICO. It's too much to go into here, but I met with the CEO. He was very interested in how we help borrowers become fundable. And he directed me to meet with his score development teams. You see me right there in the corner next to Julie. And I met with Julie literally 2 days ago. I was with Julie again at a conference because they trusted me to learn the insider secrets behind what funding looks like. Why? Because I'm not here to lie or scam borrowers, not support them being prey, but because I'm teaching you how to become a partner. And FICO's clients are lenders. So if I bring more qualified borrowers to these lenders, does that make FICO happy? Go like this. FICO is thrilled. That's why they gave me such insider access. I had to actually sign an NDA so that there are some things that we can't talk about, but I could put in my software. No time for that. So I meet twice a month with my FICO liaisons. This is me with the CEO. And I sit down with these lender underwriting teams to keep up with what lenders require of a borrower. What is fundability today? Not what was fundable before COVID. What makes you fundable today? All right. And the reason why this matters to you is that if I have a seat at the table, guess who else has a seat at the table? Type it in there. If I had a seat at the table and you and I are on this path together, or you're attending these education, who else has a seat at this table? Go ahead. I'll give you a hint. It's me. You can type it. Just type. There you go. Yeah, Myrna, you and me. We have a seat at the damn table, you guys, because they want. Put your lender hat on, for heaven's sake. Do you want to give somebody $5,000 and charge them 21% interest? Or do you want to trust a borrower enough to give them $100,000 and have that come back more and more and more? Where do you make more money as a lender? Where do you have more trust? It's in the partnership, not in rando. Yeah. So what I've learned over the last 25 years and 3 recessions, I've watched that funding target expand and contract 3 times, you guys. And fundable borrowers are bullseye borrowers, and they get funding approvals always, regardless of the recessions, regardless of the contraction of the economy, regardless of the interest rates, regardless. So over 25 years, most of us have been led to believe the matrix has taught us that we need to use full documentation. Otherwise, we have to use soul-killing alternative lenders. Not true. Most of us believe we don't have control over our funding approvals. Not true. Okay, some people are like, well, what does he mean by that? Let me tell you. So, automatic underwriting. Think about it this way. Lenders used to require all this documentation, and you sat in front of someone, right? And unfortunately, when you sit in front of someone, biases come into play, even subconscious, that discriminate against many borrowers, legitimate, capable borrowers. And yet, because you're sitting in front of another human being, all of our BS gets in the way. All right? Now, interestingly enough, the system knew there were more borrowers. We need to take away the bias. We need to take it out of human hands. So they empowered software. and they wrote code that would look at all these data points. Remember I say you fill out your application and it pings all this data and you get approved if the data checks out? They're like, let's give the software all the funding guidelines. That sounded cool enough. They've practiced for over a decade to get it right. Now, here's what's interesting. If the software has rules, and if you check those boxes, you follow those rules, and you get approved, then, and here's the key point, if you know what those borrower behaviors and rules are, type it in the chat. Who's actually in charge of your funding approvals? If you know what those rules are, if you know what the borrower behaviors are and what to do, who is in charge of your approvals, you guys? I want to see it. Absolutely. Peggy, you are. Lily, you are. Yvette, technology, if you know the rules, you're just meeting the technology. The technology is just an inanimate object that's checking off boxes. If you check the boxes and you know how to check the boxes, Yvette, you are in charge of your approvals. Absolutely, Kathy and Yvette. Sweet sauce. So but remember, if you haven't seen The Matrix, all this would make sense, but we're asleep in our pods, just giving away our power, just prey to the system. All of our energy, all of our opportunity is just leaving us, being taken from the system, by the system. When we wake up to this truth, you have the opportunity to take control of your approvals and begin to stop acting. Your borrower behaviors stop being prey behaviors and start becoming partner behaviors. Okay. Now, most of us don't know why our businesses aren't fundable. We've been lied to about how business credit works. And so we get manipulated into wasting money on business credit building schemes that don't even work. Oh man, we'll have I'm going to share with you an opportunity how to learn every one of these things, all the borrower behaviors. So in summary, we discovered the key to unlock business funding in an economy because we learned from FICO itself, the people who grade your score, from those people themselves, they taught us how to hit these funding guidelines, how to be bullseye borrowers, pro players, all-star basketballers, Navy, a SEAL Team 6 operators. Follow me? That's what we are learning here. And since now we're compressing this into decades, I've been doing this for 30 years. And like I said, 8 of it's been with Anish, and the last couple, the last few with Alexa, who's been a dream supporter of what we're doing. Alexa even told me last time we were together that she applied some of the things that that we had just talked about in the web class, and she was like, "Dude, this is crazy. What happens when you know the truth?" When you have the inside secrets to how it really works to become lender partners. So I discovered this the hard way, so you don't have to go through the trial and error of 3 decades, right? You get to cheat and take the easy way. So by compressing our time today, we're going to talk about 3 major borrower behaviors that are interrupting your funding capability. And that's going to allow you to follow your own path and get your own approval. All right. So let's take a look at what these things are. And I'm going to give you an example of somebody you may have heard about her before. It's still spectacular results. What I'm going to show you is a step-by-step formula that delivers these actual business credit approvals, that lets you check those boxes. Every single person who implements them gets approvals, because the software is the software. It's yes or no. Did you check the box or did you not? If you check the borrower behavior box, you get credit for it. Make sense? And it triggers these automatic approvals and automatic limit increases, just like from your own experience that you've got it. And we've had our regular approvals are usually minimums of 20,000, but imagine 20,000 from 3, 4, 5, 7 different banks. Though every one of those 20s grow to 50, many people get 50,000 initial approvals, but the minimum almost universally is 20. And then they grow to 100, 50 approvals grow to 100. But I'm going to share with you Teresa, who blew us all away. Let's go there.
I did what you said to do. Just a couple of things, and my score went up 30 points right away. And so within 6 months, my score went up over 100, and I was already in the 700. So my score's nearly perfect now. And they all line up, and I was able to achieve, a $500,000 unsecured line of credit my first time out of the gate with my first bank. So that really put me in a position to change the game that I'm executing to change my retirement strategy. And in fact, I actually used the line of credit recently for the first time, so it put me into $1 million asset that I would not have been able to secure. And in fact, the bank, I was putting all the documentation together, and they called me and said, okay, we're done. And I said, don't you want the paperwork? And they said, no, your credit score is fine. In fact, it's unusually fine, so we're just going to give it to you. We don't need any more paper, and it'll be an unsecured line of credit. So, $500,000, please.
They didn't need any documentation because her profile was unusually fine. How many of you would like to have a profile that doesn't require any documentation, just the application, and for you to be, for your profile to be unusually great? Anybody? You and me, Yvette, right? It's exactly what we want. And we want to do this at multiple banks. That was her first bank. All right. So we ready? Peggy, I love it. Yes, me. I want this as well. So as I promised at the beginning, we're going to talk about 3 myths that most of us believe that we don't know or don't realize are harming us because we're being treated like prey until we wake up. So let's take a look at credit card myth number 1. Your checking overdraft account is a good thing. Oh, you guys, you're going to be so thrilled to know this. All right. So and I'm not going to have us raise hands, but we're like, yeah, I've had to use it. I don't use it often, but I've had to use it. So I'm really happy that I got an overdraft account. All right. Well, guess what? In truth, your overdraft account is quietly killing you because your checking account is the key to personal and business success. So let's go over here, and we're gonna draft this out. All right. So let's take a look. Everybody got me still? All right. So here is our checking account. All right. Here's our checking account. This is $0. And right here is, and it goes up. You can put as much in your checking account as you want, right? Well, now let's add down here. Here's your overdraft. And your overdraft can be anywhere $500, $1,000. Some of us have more. But usually they're $500 to $1,000 because if you're using more than $1,000, they don't like you even more. But I'm going to show you what happens. Now, this overdraft account is seen on your credit report as a credit line. And that credit line every month gets reported to the credit bureaus and then scored by FICO and then broadcast to other lenders when they pull an inquiry on you. So we're going to go there really quick. I just want us to see the process. I want us to see the process. Overdraft gets reported. It's a credit line. It gets reported to the credit bureaus, which then it gets scored. So this is reported. Then it's scored by FICO, and then it gets broadcast, excuse my spelling, broadcast to lenders. So future, I said, it's killing, your use of this can kill future funding opportunities. Why do I say that? Massive landmine. Why do I say that? Because these lenders are looking at your traffic, your use of your overdraft account. Raise your hand. Tell me you guys are getting what I'm saying. Am I making sense? Is this making sense? You behave right here with your overdraft. Thank you. Excellent. You behave here and it goes through the system and it gets broadcast to future lenders who go like, they're like, WTF? What the hell is going on? Why is he? And so what is the message? Is we call it punching through zero. If you punch through zero, they gave you this account on personal credit, business credit, doesn't matter. They give you this account to see if you know how to manage dollars up in this checking account. Do you know how to manage your own money? Do you know how? Because if you punch through zero, you're using this overdraft account that then gets reported to other lenders, and other lenders are like, they don't even know how to to manage their own money. Why would I give them money? Follow me? This lender, let's say you have a credit card with this lender. This lender is not going to either approve you or raise your limits, especially automatically, if you don't know how to manage your own money. So, is this making sense? They give you, they're sneaky bastards. They give you this to give you an opportunity they give you rope to hang yourself. Gruesome analogy, but they give you enough rope to hang yourself. So what is the solution to this? Now I'm going to give you an opportunity to see an in-depth solution to this process, but the idea is what we call a new zero. You need to have a number. I don't care if it's 100, 500, 1,000, 25,000. I don't care what it is. You need a new zero. So you stop getting close to it and you come up here and this is your new zero. So you have a buffer. We need a buffer zone. Type this. You guys, are you getting this? Are you getting this? You with me? Are you getting what we're talking about here? Brilliant. Thank you. All right. We need a buffer zone. Number one, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm going to show you that there are special numbers, special balances that actually trigger positive results in underwriting because a lender is measuring their relationship with you here. They're measuring it. Now, you're saying, well, so how do I make sure that I never use this? Here's pro tip. Pro tip. Turn off on your debit cards. You can call your bank and tell them, do not authorize any transaction that lets me punch through zero. Just turn it off. Close this account. Well, don't close it yet. I'll give you information on how to close. Just keep the account, but turn off the authorization to punch through zero. That, because I'm telling you guys, it is worth the embarrassment. For some reason, you go by, you need to use a different credit card because something happened when you bought a plane ticket or a dinner at a restaurant. I promise you that embarrassment is a whole lot better to have than punching through zero and ruining your relationship with your lender, because your lender is testing you to see if you are prey or a partner. Are you getting this? Type yes if you're getting it. You with me on this? Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Whoo. We ready to go? Let's continue. So, secret number one, your overdraft account is quietly killing you. Remember how I said that lenders test us to see if we're prey or if we're partners. Right there. That will kill you could have a relationship with your bank for 10 years. And if you run overdraft, even once, it could take you 6 months to a year to recuperate that one overdraft before they start trusting you again. We got to act like professional borrowers. We got to act like we want to partner with that very lender. Follow me? All right, let's move on. Let's go to credit card myth number 2. All credit cards are good credit. Not true. Not true. And every credit building system, all the stuff you see online, all the Instagram, all the Facebook, everybody says, yeah, let's build your credit, build your credit, build your credit. And then they give you credit cards that actually are bad for your profile, that harm your fundability. So let's go there. The insider secret, guys, is that some credit cards are ruining your financial reputation. But we've never been, it's part of the money matrix. It's part of this financial illusion that we've been, and the lies that we've been taught. All right. Now, we do not have time. This is a whole section that we can cover that I'm going to give you an opportunity to learn about all of this. There are 4 tiers of banks and 4 values of credit cards. Now, consumer, here is a attendee alert. Attendee alert. Do not do anything. I'm going to tell you the rules of the game, but we're in a minefield. If you're like, oh, I see, thank you, Meryl, I see where the minefield ends, and you just start running across the field, you're going to blow something up. So do not close anything. I'm here to tell you, again, there's an opportunity for you to learn what to do and when to do it, but not right now. I'm here to that education that makes us a partner instead of prey. Here's the prey. We were taught a great way to start credit was with retail cards. But do you realize and recognize Credit One, Elon, Merrick Bank, First Premier, all these credit cards are sent to people with bad credit or who are starting new credit, post-bankruptcy. All of these types of, and by the way, that Toyota Motor and Honda Financial, those are revolving accounts. Those are your ATV accounts. Those aren't that isn't when you're trying to lease a car or buy a car. These are when you want to buy a couple of wave runners and they put it on a credit card or a credit line. Those are evil. Okay. So don't do anything, please, I beg you. In fact, I disclaim any negative results for you running it across the minefield without me. All right. Here's the thing. Tier 4 cards come with a notation from FICO. They're called consumer finance accounts. Just look at the words. I'm not making this stuff up. Look at the words. You're a consumer. You're not a strategic borrower. You're not a partner. They're literally check consumer this is a consumer borrower, AKA prey. They indicate the type of borrower you are so that when you go for a business credit line, a business loan, a commercial line, well, they're looking at you going, huh, lots of consumer accounts here. Wow, maybe we need more documentation. Get it? This is what it looks like on every single type of credit report. If you see a slash, that means it's a consumer on a listing, on a mortgage report, on your myfico.com report, on any credit report. That stands for GE Money Bank is carrying the paper for JCPenney. It's a finance account, and that makes you an unsophisticated borrower. Now, it's not your fault. Please, I'm not blaming you. You and I are on the same side of the table, and we're looking at the system going, the hell are you doing? Why didn't you tell us this in high school or college? Well, that's because my course for high school, remember, for those of you, most of you are in Florida, Governor DeSantis has said, hey, he's requiring education, especially credit education, and we're in the process of submitting our training into the high schools in Florida, because it is not okay that we don't know this, right? Once again, we're asleep at the wheel because we've been drugged by somebody else. All right, now, those tier 4 cards drag down your fundability, and they're evidence that you are a consumer. Type it, raise your hand. Are you getting this? Are you getting the power of your behaviors? Are you getting the power of the behavior? Geraldine, I am going to show you what you need to do with your daughter. I'm going to blow your mind. Everybody with children, especially young adult children, we've got to educate them so that we wake them up to the truth of how to prepare to be partners with lenders rather than being consumers, right? All right. So credit card myth number 3. Hey, free flights and free nights are awesome, right? You can't lose with free flights and free nights. I love my rewards. We all love our rewards, right? Awesome, Peggy. I'm glad your daughter's here. Welcome. I don't know the name, but is there another Joseph here? All right. Welcome. We are being tempted into rewards to use credit cards for rewards. That's not okay. There's just a right way to do it. All right. And so here's the actual truth behind this. All right. Now, again, we're not doing anything. You're not closing down. You're not doing anything. Promise me. Everybody raise your hand. I want everybody here. Raise your hand. You promise not to do anything. You're not going to sprint across the damn minefield on your own. Promise. Thank you. Just promise me. I don't want you to harm your profiles, right? So here's the truth behind it. This straight out of FICO. Credit card rewards could cost you $100,000 or more in future business loans and lines of credit. It can ruin them. And we're like, what? Why is that even a thing, right? Well, let's go back over to the board, because this one's gonna, yeah. This is a thing. All right. So I'm going to tell you a story about Sherry. She was amazing. She's a home investor franchisee. So yeah, a franchise that does real estate investing and everything like this. So they're they are really aggressive in the marketplace, just like Anisha's coaching program. Think of it that way. All in, going for it, just making sure she does as much as she possibly can. She was very successful in that, but she wanted more capital, more working capital with credit lines so that she could do more deals faster, right? All right. So she comes up to me after an event and she's like, Meryl, I hear great things about you, and I want to do this, but I don't want to do this unless you can promise me that I can keep my rewards programs, right? She's one of those reward or a travel hacker. Well, she'll open up a card, get the 50 or 80, 100,000 points, do the minimum charges, keep it for a year and close it, and then do it again and again and again. And she was traveling everywhere. And I said, and I'm asking you this same thing, because we've been led to believe some bull malarkey out there, and it's keeping us small. It's keeping us unfunded. Okay. So I said, so tell me, what in a year, what was your single biggest win on your credit cards, right? What were the rewards? And she goes, well, I took my family to, it was $11,800. It was flights, all inclusive to Cabo, all inclusive resort to Cabo. We went all out. We did everything on our points, on our points. I'm like, man, that is awesome. Congratulations. That really is impressive. And I'm like, because I've never used 11,000, almost 12 grand in points. And she goes, all right. So then I followed up with another question, and I'm asking you the same question. And I want you to type this in your chat. What could you do with, in 1 year, what could you do with 100K in a credit line? Like, write a check, do a deal, pay it off, write a check, do a deal, pay it off. I want to know, type in the chat exactly how much you guys can make in 1 year. 1 year. Tell me. Maximo, brilliant, 500K. We can turn that 5 times over. Anybody else? I want numbers. I want numbers. What could you do? Could you make another 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 250, Peggy? Another 100. Can you double it? Could you just double it in 1 year? If you could write a check, do a deal, rehab it, get it done, do more deals. Alice can double it. We can double the money, right? 3x, 50,000, Jacqueline, 50,000. I 50% profit, 1 year, 50% profit. Okay. Here's the problem. And this is why this behavior harms us. We're doing it on our personal credit profile. The personal credit profile is the goose that lays the golden egg, meaning that lender, even for business approvals, they look at our personal credit and they're like, what are their borrower behaviors like? Because you're the principal, you're the owner of the business, right? You're the main point. They want to see how you treat money so that they know whether or not to trust you with the real money. Follow me? Tell me you guys are getting this. Tell me you're getting it. They want to test you to see if you are for real, a real lender, borrower. A real borrower, not somebody who's being shiny object, shiny object, shiny object, shiny object. The personal credit is the key. Now, I taught her, and I'll share with you how we did it. I taught her how to do all of those things on business credit cards. Get all the points you want on business credit cards that don't report to your personal profile. Do all of that on your business credit cards that don't report balances and limits and activity on your personal profile. Go for it. heyday. But do not do this on your personal profile. And yet, because we didn't know better, not your fault, no harm, no foul. But now we know when we do this on our personal, we crush the opportunity to get here because of a thing that's called average age. Lenders look how old you keep credit. Another borrower behavior that is sinking our fundability. Because if we keep opening cards, that 0 months drops our average age. It doesn't matter if we keep them open or close them. Every time we open a new card, I'm just the messenger, right? I'm Morpheus. You're Neo. I'm Morpheus. You know, the root word for Morpheus is morph, right? To change, to evolve. And that's what we're doing here. You are Neo. I'm here to show you that every time, do you realize the perfect credit profile has 3 high value credit cards? Not 4, not 5, not 7, not 12, 3. Nobody told us. And I keep saying it. I just want to remind you, I know we've been lied to. It's a pisser. Don't close any cards. We've been told that opening accounts can get us points so that we can go live our lives. It's a consumer behavior. They are preying on us to do this because then they'll know not to give us this. Well, nope, I'm sorry, sir. Excuse me, miss, you do not get one of those because you're acting like this. But simple exercise, if you learn how to do this on business credit that don't report to your personal, well then, you're going to get 3 to 5 or more of these. Tell me you're getting this. Tell me you're getting this. Tell me that you are picking up what I am putting down. Anybody? Oh, there we go. I'm talking blind. I'm like, thank you. All right. So how about them? How about them insider secrets? We believe the myths, so we act according to the borrower behaviors that support the lies. And lenders get to go, whew, I didn't risk my money with that borrower. But the second we know how to do any one of these 3 things, we get to know the truth and we get to operate from the truth, you guys. Straight up, operate from the truth. Now you know why. Lenders are not evil. They just want to protect their money, right? Yes, the truth will set you financially free. That's what I mean by waking up. Do you get why I use the matrix here? The lenders are not evil. They just want to protect their money, you guys. They want to protect their money. So how do you protect your money? Give borrowers shiny objects. The serious borrowers will know something different, will do something different. And they've never had more money to lend than ever in the history of the banks. Let's get our peace. All right. All right. Well, Alexa, I hope I fulfilled your expectations of energy here. And my coffee's still undranken, whatever the verb, whatever that. So how many of you think this is pretty exciting? Raise your hand. Tell me yes. How many of you think this is pretty exciting? Just to know these 3 things. Just to know 3 things. All right. Brilliant. Brilliant. Awesome. Okay. How many of you feel like you've been drinking out of a fire hose? Be honest. Be honest. I've been accused of it. How many of you think I've been? Thank you, Raphael and Geraldine and Kathy. Yeah, it's true. So I've got a special offer for how many of you would like to know over 30 of these strategies to protect your fundability and make you a professional borrower? Anybody interested in becoming a professional borrower? 30 strategies, you guys, 30 plus. Sometimes we can fit in up to 33 strategies. All right. So here we go. I have a 2-day boot camp. And unfortunately, that boot camp, the good news for you guys is there's a training going on the 20th. You guys have a training going on the 23rd. But the good news is you could join me on Friday and get the recordings of Saturday, because I never want to take anything away from what Anish and Alexa are doing. You got the rock star training, but it is vital. Oh, Alexa says yes, but limited seating. So whoever doesn't make it to that, you got to be here live. If you do have your seat there already, you've got to get the recordings. Here's the whole point. This has worked for every single real estate investor, note investor, whether you're new or experienced, whether you think you have bad credit. How would you like to redefine? There's no such thing as bad credit. There's no such thing as good credit. It's, will banks give me money or will banks not give me money? We call it fundable and unfundable. That's the real definition, which we'll cover in this boot camp. Is your business fundable? Will lenders want to pour in hundreds of thousands of dollars in approvals into your business? We got to find out. That's what we do in the boot camp. Most importantly, you can stop having lenders mess around with the limits, closing accounts, stop having your deals slip through your fingers. You guys, stop chasing money and stop getting blacklisted by lenders. What does that mean? If you have too many inquiries, that's being blacklisted by lenders. Everybody looks at you and goes, nope, they rejected you. They may not know why, but they rejected you. So we're going to reject you, and we're going to reject you, and we're going to reject you. Let's stop this madness. Let's get in control of our approvals, right? We can stop paying body part pricing for your interest on your money. Paying an arm and a leg. That's what I call body part pricing, right? And stop getting out, let's stop sharing our profits unnecessarily. If it's necessary, like I said, if you had a $100,000 line of credit, wouldn't it be cool to have 30% in 3 deals instead of 1 deal? That would be cool, right? Leverage other money, but get more deals going, right? Until you have 300 grand and can fund them all yourself. All of that is typical of what our students and our clients are experiencing when they learn how this game is played and they become a professional player. All right. So day 1, we're going to talk about weaponizing your personal and business credit. Remember, I separated those out. Your personal credit is vital. Your business credit is vital. How do we relate the two? How do we make them both fundable, right? They're implementing effortless borrower behaviors that are going to trigger these automatic lending approvals. What are easy to implement account strategies? All this stuff that I just shared with you, we haven't got time today to go into it, but holy hell, 2 days of fire hose. You're going to want the recordings, because not one person has ever picked up everything in the first listen. It's never happened. I have clients who are implementing all of it. They haven't missed a boot camp. They're 11 boot camps in a row, because there's always new and evolving intel, right? Little known debt shifting strategies, so you can access new capital and eliminate your high personal balances. How many of you have high personal balances because you didn't know yet that using your personal credit card, how many of you charge it up and your score goes down, your fundability goes down, charge it up, pay it off, and your personal credit looks like a roller coaster, right? That is not what we want to, that's not how we want it to work. Day 2 is all about how to detect the bogus business offers. What is real business credit? What's the business credit? Nobody out there knows how the business credit system works. But I'm going to tell you right now, again, shoot me, don't shoot me, but the whole idea of getting Uline accounts and then getting a business and then getting business fuel accounts, fleet cards, and getting retail cards. Not a single person who has used building business credit strategies from all these operators out there. I've never seen one of them use that process and get $100,000 bank business line of credit. Doesn't happen. But these supposed experts say that they use the word credit line because we want to hear what we want to hear, but it doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. We're going to be talking about how to use weaponizing all the funding approval factors. We're going through every one of the things you see on the screen right now of what is required to make it work. See how they're all scored? There's a scatter chart that we want them all to be right there in that bullseye. And I'll show you how. We're going to show you, remember I talked about the 40% tier 4 cards and how destructive they are. We're going to talk about the tier 1s, the tier 2s, the tier 3s, all how to distinguish. Remember, don't do anything until we talk at the boot camp. And then of course, we're going to weaponize your business fundability. We're going to dial in all that criteria. It's not hard. Was any of this hard? We just had to know. We had to clean our glasses off and put them back on and go, oh crap, whoa, that's a whole new world I'm looking at. This is not hard. None of it is hard. It just has to be, we just got to see the truth of it. And that will affect our behaviors, and that it makes our fundability super easy to access. Also, by the end of the boot camp, I can actually help you forecast your funding timetable. First 100,000, 200, 300, 500, because once we know, you're going to be filling out some very cool worksheets that help you determine your fundability. It's awesome, truly awesome. Now, if you went to my website, all of this is and bought these courses, recordings, not live, not with me, but recordings. If you went and notice that there are 32. I said over 30. We're covering them all live. This is worth $3,994. And the question is if you could get $200,000 or $300,000 in credit lines, would that be worth it? Please just be honest. Raise your hand. Type yes. Is it worth it? $3,994 if you were guaranteed that $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, is it worth it? Jacqueline says yes. Max says yes. Kathy says yes. There's Kathy on both sides. Geraldine says yes. You guys, yes, it's worth it. But guess what? That's not what I want you to pay. I want you to have no reason for not being here. That's why it's $97. $97. And I'm going to sweeten the deal. If you go to the first day and you are not wowed, I mean, literally wowed, not like, okay, that was cool. If you're not wowed, I will give you 100% of your money back. No questions asked. You don't get to go to the second day, but I will give you your money back. So the question is it worth gambling one day to see how close you are right now to getting these business loans and lines of credit so you can do more deals? That's the bottom line. What you're going to risk one day, and that's Friday. And that Friday is free because Saturday, some of you are going to be at the other event. But I said it's $97. There are three ticket levels, and the middle one has recordings, still worth every penny of whichever you pay. Now, I do have to give a warning for those of you who want to spend a couple of hours with me. That last ticket price on tiny.cc/Bria. And by the way, it's case sensitive, so follow in the chat and go to that website. If you choose the platinum level, you have to do that before the boot camp. Now, this is for people who want to take action right now. Once the boot camp starts, everybody wants to do platinum. So this is for action takers who believe already that I know what I'm talking about. Now, the platinum is not a coaching program. It's a fundability blueprint that we set up together so that you can have a crystal clear idea how to implement these for the rest of your life. Now, if you go to the tiny.cc/Bria, you follow that link, you're going to see literally dozens and dozens and dozens of people, real estate investors just like you, who have said, Brandon, top left, I've attended many seminar boot camps in my day about real estate investments, funding, and how to get fundable, but never in my life have I been to one that has totally changed my point of view about the subject. My jaw is literally on the floor. My eyes are completely open now. Sounds like the Matrix, doesn't it? Completely open now. And according to Merrill, we have only touched the surface. Today was truly mind-blowing, and I cannot wait for tomorrow's session. This was after day one. That's why I'm saying I'm willing to give you your money back if you had an okay experience. But everybody is blown away. Everybody is blown away by this experience. So take screenshots of these or just read the reviews that are on your so it's only 97. There are two others. This is a one-time viewing. It's live, and we can move your registration if you can't attend one. We get happy to move it, but take initiative now. Borrower behaviors are crazy important now. Let's start. And for those of you who are still with me, I have a special gift for you. Please open up a new browser window and go to getfundablechecklist.com. I'm going to give you the entire checklist of how to become fundable. Unfortunately, it would be 420,000 pages if it had every piece of instruction, but you will get an idea of the borrower behaviors, everything that needs to be done. I think we're complete. Let's go to Alexa. It's all yours.
Awesome. So if you guys have any questions about the boot camp or about what Merrill's offering, please go ahead and put those questions in the Q&A. I'll just kind of start with a couple that we have right now. Okay, so we have how to close those consumer accounts without harm.
Okay, so remember, there is a formula for it based on how there's ages, there's limits, there's balances, there's what's called a 24-month look back period. That is, come to the boot camp, and I will explain that in far greater detail. I cannot answer that because every single profile is completely different, and every single account is completely different.
All right, it's hard to skip this one. I know it's not about real estate, but don't have to answer it. I just relate school loans, question mark, like how do school loans affect your credit, like in your fundability? Is this something like?
Well, the good news is that the fundability, school loans are still on moratorium. They do affect your fundability, but you'll learn at the boot camp that installment loans do not move the fundability needle as much as revolving accounts. And and I'm going to give you lots of examples and show you what you can do about it. But yes, great question. And they do add towards total credit engaged.
Cool. So difference between the gold and the platinum. Need a little bit more.
Yeah. So the gold package is recordings, bonuses, and access twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at my 4 p.m., which is your 6 in Florida. We, as a tribe, meet and we go through all of what we learned at the boot camp, what we're starting to implement, and how to do it. So that's part of that gold. You also get that benefit in the platinum, but the platinum is spending 2 hours with me. You'll see the list of all the things that we cover in that 2 hours. I want to work with you to build a blueprint. It's a one-time coaching session. It's not a coaching program, but you will have the blueprint, the map to Funding Town. Now, you will also have an opportunity, every one of you will have an opportunity to, if you want a guide, to walk the terrain with you. Notice that maps and terrains are different, but we're here at whatever level you want to engage. It is not on me to determine what's important to you. I'm here to guide you through the funding landmines and get you on the other side of the mess and give you the truth and the education you need to become fundable. We can walk this path together as long as you'd like.
Cool. Awesome. Alrighty. Other dates available for the boot camp. I know we got the April rolled out.
Okay, so April is they're usually every month to 6 weeks, and so we do not have the May or the beginning of June dates yet, but there would be another one. What I recommend is get your ticket, and you can always buy the Gold Pass. Will let you watch March's boot camp, and then it'll let you watch April's boot camp, and then you can attend the live one whenever you want. You don't have to wait for the information. That Gold Pass is going to get you what's already been done in March. The day after, you can watch it in April, and then you can attend live in May. That $29 a month gets you access. That's all access pass. All access pass to every boot camp, no additional charge.
Amazing, amazing. Alrighty, Charlene, we don't have, oh, she just put it in the Q&A, okay. Silver, okay. I'm probably talking about the platinum.
Charlene's question is, so I'm going to give you the roadmap, Charlene. And if you are amazing at following a roadmap, then you will have sufficient to avoid the landmines that are in your way. Others want somebody to help them through a guide through the terrain. You don't have to. I'm not, this is not go watch go read the previews. This is not a sales weekend. It's not a sales weekend. There's people are interested in coaching or other opportunities. I spend 20 minutes, a half an hour going through the future possibilities. The other 15 and a half hours is 100% education. You either get it or you don't. I'm not here to sell you on anything. If you would suck as a client, if I had to persuade you to be fundable, that's not my jam. People get it, they don't. I don't need your money. I need you to stop blowing your stuff up so that you can go to the boot camp. Holy hell, that was amazing. Go to the boot camp. That's all I care about, is that people get the education. What we do after that, we'll decide later.
Perfect. Yes. When, BPM RIA, we're totally in alignment with that. We're going to give you the information, but it's up to you to decide if it's a good fit for you. I'm going to be sending you all a thank you email after this webinar. I'll include the link for our special offer here with Meryl. Again, we just want to thank you so much for being here, for giving us special treatment. It's not every day that you have one-on-one time with these sort of professionals. So we don't take it lightly. We're really, really grateful. And everybody look out for the thank you email from me with all the links, Meryl Chandler's information, his website, their email, all that stuff. So don't hesitate, get the information so you can make the best decision for yourself. So
Yeah, join us. And it's 2 weekends from now. So not tomorrow, next Friday, come and join us. I promise you, I'll give you your money back and you can, and we'll remain friends. I'll see you on the next education seminar. You cannot afford to keep sleeping, you guys. So thank you so much. Alexa, thank you. Anish, thank you for
thank you,
I love coming to
everybody.
you guys.
Yeah. Oh gosh, thank you all so much. We'll see you next time.
Right.
Have a great rest of your week. And thanks again, Meryl. Bye-bye now.